Hello everyone, hope you're all keeping well during these lockdown times. Are we locked down? Are we not? I don't know what we are at the minute. I'm locked down anyway. But May is usually quite a busy month for me. We usually head up to the Isle of Skye for a week. So I thought I'd have a look back at what we normally get up to in May, and back to 2015 when I sort of crazily decided from doing no mountains at all really to summiting my first Munro, and it being the Inaccessible Pinnacle. I first visited the Isle of Skye about 10 years ago, and the first few years we just spent a time getting to know the island, and we visited the popular tourist spots like you do, the Fairy Glen, the Quirang, the old Banachdaich, the fairy pools, stuff like that. Just getting a feel for the place, getting to know the way around. The video that you're going to see today that was taken in 2015, and back then I'd done very little mountain walking at all. I'd not done any of the top 10 mountains in the Lake District. I'd not done any walking in Wales at all. But when I was on Skye, I was always drawn to the mountains. They're so magical looking that if you're into that type of thing, they just tend to draw you in. But because of my fear of heights and not knowing the mountains at all, I just felt uncomfortable going into the mountains on my own. So as I say, in 2015 I decided to confront my fear of heights and challenge myself to summit a Scottish Munro. So I started looking into the Munros, and there's 282 of them, I think. So with so many to choose from, where do you start? And one of them I found was called the Inaccessible Pinnacle, which sounds quite daunting just in the name. But when I saw that was on Skye, that sort of drew me to the Inaccessible Pinnacle. But the problem was that's regarded as the most difficult Munro to summit. You need ropes, climbing skills maybe, and an abseil at the end. I'd never done any climbing, I'd never used any ropes, and I'd never done any abseiling either. So how the hell am I going to do that? So I had to think about it, and then I thought, there's no way I can do it on my own. I need to get a guide. So I spoke to a few people on the island, and they recommended me Skye Adventures. So I got in touch with them and booked a trip with them in May 2015, and off we set to try and do the Inaccessible Pinnacle. So if you're not familiar with the Isle of Skye, I'll just take you through a bit of the geography. I live down there, which is Lancashire, and having done the trip for the past 10 years, I know it takes me about 10 hours to get to Portree. That's the Isle of Skye there. So we'll zoom in on the Cooling Hills, and on the day we were going to do the In Pinn, we set off from the Mountain Rescue Hut, which is there just north of Glenbrittle, and our route took us up this path there, along there, broke off the main path, and then the start of the ridge climb here. Now when I say climb, I'm not a climber, so I mean climbing up a hill, walking climbing, not mountain climbing with ropes. There is some scrambling along this ridge as well, maybe there. So you continue along the ridge until you get to the Inaccessible Pinnacle, which is there. And the views from it would normally be amazing, looking down on Corrylagan and the rest of the ridge there. But the day I was there, we couldn't see anything. Right.
Yep. This bit. Yeah. Ah. Right. Skip. I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. Good.
Yeah, that's it.
So is this sort of halfway or? Steps down.
See that crack just where you left me?
So straight on this bit of that. Safe. Safe.
Yeah, some drop there.
So we left the summit of Banachdaich and we descended via Banachdaich, which is a bit of a knee cruncher, and headed back to Glenbrittle. Fantastic day. Having previously done no Munros, I'd done 2 on my first outing. The weather wasn't great, but typically as when we descended, the weather turned really quite nice. So I hope you enjoyed that. Not the fantastic visuals that you often see on YouTube of these mountains, but it was a real outing. And if you fancy doing something like that yourself, maybe you'll get that as well. It's not always like it shows in the movies, as they say. So if you're thinking of doing anything yourself on Skye and you maybe you haven't been before, or you're not that experienced, which I wasn't 5 years ago, if you got any questions, it'd be great to hear from you. I'm thinking of putting together maybe another short video just showing some of the other stuff that I've done on Skye. I've done, since these 2, I've now done 9 of the 12 Munros on Skye. So I've still got 3 to do. I'm going to be making some plans to do them in the near future when we can get out. But hopefully you enjoyed that. Passed a bit of time for you during the lock-in, and if you have, please give me a like and a subscribe maybe, and look forward to making more videos for us to enjoy in the future. Thanks guys, see you soon, take care.